DJ Dane. Take it to him.
Hey, I'm back in Marseille. I've really been wanting to come back to Marseille so bad, and I was planning on coming down and visiting a friend when the sponsor of today's video, Get Your Guide, reached out and asked if I wanted to go on some outdoor adventures. And as it turns out, I do, because last time I was here, I got to experience a lot of what Marseille has to offer as a city, but I didn't get to experience what it's really well known for, which is its outdoor activities. So in this video, we're going to do some boating, we're going to do some food touring with some wine, hopefully, bike tour, and then the friend that I'm visiting and her friends are going to take me on a sailing experience as well. That has nothing to do with the sponsor, but thanks to GetYourGuide.com for sending me down here. Thanks to my patrons for making all of this possible, including the fancy new equipment that I've gotten recently, upgrades, thanks to you, and thanks to Marseille for having us. Also, thanks to Cooper for putting up with this. It is a little bit hot for him out. Unfortunately, little puppy cannot handle too much time out in the heat. Very hot right now. Thankfully, I have an air-conditioned Airbnb where he will be able to be left safely behind. It will be a little boring for him at times, but we'll be playing with him a lot off camera. Don't you worry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start by leaving Paris, and then we can talk about the rest. Merci à vous. It's like a three and a half hour train ride, I think. Well, we made it, and it is super hot. Thankfully, not as hot as in Aix-en-Provence, which we just passed through, stopped in briefly. They have a massive wildfire going on. Just as I'd heard there were fires in the south. Did not expect, I could even see the flames from the train. That was pretty nuts. It is too hot for the puppy to be walking around out here for sure, but thankfully the Airbnb that I got is air conditioned. I'll show it to you here in a minute. We're gonna go straight there and then see how things are, walk around a little bit, and then get started with our little trip to Marseille. Ooh, it's hot. Here we go, let's get you inside. Oh, merci. Well, the Airbnb that I chose is one that I chose for a couple of reasons. Location was key, being in the center of town. It's not exactly the most convenient for some of the places that we're gonna be going, some of the activities we're gonna be doing, but it should still be fine. Overall, the other reasons are that it's gonna be cool. There's not only air conditioning, but we're on kind of a basement slash street level combination here. You can see with the vaulted ceilings. It's pretty stylish, comfortable. It's gonna be dark and cozy, and if not terribly quiet, at least it'll be pretty cool. Although the street noise isn't so bad once you close this second door. And obviously, it's the middle of a heat wave right now, so the main priority was making sure that I had air conditioning for the dog. Unfortunately, he's gonna have to stay behind for most of what we're up to. Two of the activities, it turns out, you can't have pets, and that's okay. We'll leave him behind for those. Hopefully we can take him for the one that allows pets, like the walking food tour that we're gonna be doing, but I don't really know. I guess we're gonna find out. He'll be fine. It's great. Let's move in. Oh, stretch on the way. Oh, good stretches. Oh, it's a good stretch. Oh, it's another good stretch. Oh, so many stretches. So we can't stay out super late, despite the fact that this place is banging. It's really cool to see that life has come back to Marseille, and it's fun to be here for it. There she is. Enfin. Bonjour. Salut. Turns out we're getting a private tour. Didn't see that coming. I think we're the only ones that booked, but we met Marie here in the garage. I will say, just as a quick tip, if you're getting off of a cruise ship, they will meet you there and pick you up, but ask, because the meeting point, the actual garage, is nowhere near those cruise ships. I'm not staying on a cruise ship. So I asked, they gave me the actual location. That's a little point of, they should probably put both of those on the website, just as a note. But anyways. If you've been watching my channel for any period of time, it will come as no surprise whatsoever. I'm always in for a bike ride, especially a good bike tour in a new town. I should do this more. We are out here, thanks to Get Your Guide, on a little bit of an electric bike tour, which is necessary because Marseille is built on a whole bunch of hills. And if you want to see it, you're going to be going up some pretty steep hills, as Cooper discovered this morning when I took him out for his early morning walk all the way up to Notre-Dame de la Garde, the church, all the way at the top of the hill. It's one of those most prominent features of the city, but it's a phenomenal way to get a few views you wouldn't find on your own. Even last time I was here, I found this location. I walked up here, but I didn't come around to this side to see this view of the port. And it's really nice to have a guide that can take you to some of the best spots quickly with a breeze. It's less effort than walking. Highly recommend a bike tour anywhere you go, whether it's in Paris, Marseille, or anywhere else. I think I'm gonna be doing a whole lot more of these. They're phenomenal. And that's how you also learn things like this building was built for Napoleon III as a thank you for all the work he did in town. And he died before it was finished, despite the fact that he wanted to give it as a gift to his wife, who hated the wind and therefore was not a huge fan of Marseille and literally came once and never came back again. This is stuff that I'm only learning because we have a lovely tour guide who's telling us. So it's nice. Also a little bit too much sun. I'm boiling, I'm baking, let's get out of here. Le crème de café, c'est que, okay, the crème de café, it's a kind of like a frappuccino, I guess is a good way, but it's like a very moussey, delicious little coffee drink. We came to an Italian spot. That was shockingly good, kind of sweet, very cold. Oh, it was really good. You might recognize this area from where I stayed last time I was here, which is a quick plug for my Day in Marseille video. You can go watch that after this. Once, you know, if you're looking for Marseille, if you're looking for more Marseille content, it's hot. I can't get the sentences out in one go. Took a spin along the coast, stopped and had coffee in a really nice little Italian cafe that actually was really delicious, and I'd love to go back. Headed all the way up to Notre-Dame de la Garde, and in the end, we end up here in Le Panier, which is one of my favorite little spots that I discovered last time I was here. Not that I discovered it, it's the oldest part of the city that the Greeks settled, but you know what I mean. We made soap just up there. It was a really good time. Anyways, it's a fantastic time. We definitely, it's a hot day to be riding. This is when you want to be riding an electric bike. But we found the shade wherever we could find shade, and it was really nice. Marie is obviously very knowledgeable. She comes from Marseille, and she loves her city, and it's very clear. Had a really good time biking around. You definitely want the electric bike for going up and down all the hills and avoiding cars. Would I recommend this? Of course I would recommend this. It's a really fun way, fast way to see a lot of the city quickly, and She just happens to bring you by a lot of Space Invaders. If you're like me and you're a nerd for Space Invaders, you're gonna find a bunch on this and you can flash them as you go. So, e-bike tour, definitely would do it. Oh, yes. Be sure to bring a bottle of water, though. I didn't do that, and that was a mistake. Thanks to Poppy Merilleno, today's patron producer, and all my patrons for making this possible in the first place. Both with the whole new mic setup, everything else, thank you for sending me down here. Really appreciate it. We also stopped in one of my favorite tiny little ports, which I forget the name of. I'll put it on the screen, but it's an amazing little fisherman's village. And that's one of the cool things about Marseille is like everything was once a village around here that's been absorbed into greater Marseille, which gives everything its little taste, its little flavor of something completely different. And it's one of the reasons why I want to come back here and spend more time in Marseille, exploring it, seeing what I can find, and I hope you'll come along with me when I do that. But riding all the way up to Notre Dame de la Gare was a little bit of work still, even with the e-bikes, still really good. My only complaint actually was that the seat just wasn't quite high enough. These bikes aren't made for men my height. I'm like 185 in centimeters or 6'1". I don't have exceptionally long legs or anything, but I definitely could have used a little bit more seat height. Otherwise, phenomenal. Really enjoyed it. That coffee, man, still thinking about it. But we'll see more of the panier in a minute because what's next but a food tour. Side note, I found a pizza vending machine. Gotta try it. Artisanal pizza out of a vending machine. Ooh, that is really hot. It's not bad. But it's not good. Don't judge too hard. Everything is closed in my neighborhood, and we just got back from a really long bike ride. And I got to play with the puppy at home in the air conditioner. This is what I got. This is what I got. Would I recommend it? No. I mean, for the experience, this is the first time I've ever had vending machine pizza. Then yeah, for sure. Moving on. So if you're wondering how I've been doing all of this, or why I'm here in the first place, and anyways, so I'm here to hang out with Elizabeth, of course. But the reason that I'm able to do all this is thanks to Get Your Guide, getyourguide.com. They have their app. If you want to download it right now and plan your trip with them, it's been pretty great so far. Honestly, relatively seamless. Had a couple of hiccups along the way, but everything's worked out. We're right where we need to be. I mean, look at this. It's freaking phenomenal. GetYourGuide.com is also the sponsor of this video. Thanks to them for sending me down and covering my costs and coming to Marseille. They asked me to do 3 different experiences, which are what you've been able to see. Then fairly packed. But Get Your Guide has like 60,000 activities over the course of 3,600 different locations, I think. It's really easy to use. Check it out, Get Your Guide. Got some really interesting looking stuff on there, and I hope to travel with them again someday. But in the meantime, we're going to enjoy this sunset cruise that they sent me on. A little bit of dinner, some drinks with some people from around the world. It's a good way to meet people when you're traveling as well. Booking something like this, it's not normally how I travel, but it is, I think, increasingly appealing to me. It's kind of nice. This has been fun. They also have 24/7 support. I've had a couple of, like I said, hiccups, and every time I've reached out, somebody has answered, which has been great. That's the tip I've got for Get Your Guide in my experience so far, at least. I'm telling you, she put Cooper in charge of a sailing boat for a second. It was ridiculous. That's where we're headed later in the video, but now we're headed here. Hey. This is super relaxing. I have to do this more. I mean, every time I get out into the countryside, out of the city, I think, man, I should do this more. And then I do it, and I think the same thing again. So, highly recommended. Do a sunset cruise. I'm going to be putting links to all of the individual tours I did below, or the extra sailing activity I discovered as well. So you can be sure to find that. They are affiliate links given to me by Get Your Guide. And if you're going to be in Marseille, get on the water, please. One of the things I've loved the most about the guides we've met so far along the way, and all the friends that I've met and made on this trip is that everyone, whether they're from Marseille originally or not, is really proud to be from Marseille, and they share that with you as they talk about it. All the guides have been just so proud of their home or their adopted home, and it's really cool to be able to share that with some people as they show you around their home. I said home a lot in there, but you get the point. It's been really cool and inspiring, to be honest. Makes me want to make sure that wherever I call home, which is currently Paris, and will be for the foreseeable future, is a place that I am proud to be a part of, to be from, and that the elements that I'm not, I can work on improving as best I can to make it a place that I'm proud of. Or just accept it as it is and be proud of it as it is, I suppose, too. Gave up on us, huh? How are you?
Good to see you.
Yep. Also, because things went out of order and we ended up doing the food tour on the last day, I needed a place to put my luggage, and thankfully there's a spot right off the old port, which I will link to below as well, which is really easy to use. Fully automated, put your stuff in there, pay for a set time, and then come back and get it later when you're ready for it. It's great. There are a handful of those things around apparently, but yeah, it was very conveniently located. Food tours. I should do these more. I should really do these more often. I brought some food along for Cooper too. We're on our way into the Panier, the oldest part of the city here in Marseille, but we've met in the old port to get started, and our guide, Elizabeth, is already lovely and off to a fresh start. She speaks French and English. She is French, but her English is great, and we have some people on the tour with us that don't speak any French, so it's a perfect combination to have. And we're starting out by checking out the fresh catch of the fish this morning, which is really fun to see. And to see what they caught, what they brought in. She said it depends on just what they catch. You never know exactly what's gonna be here in the morning. Learning a little bit about traditional Marseillaise food, and we're gonna see what we eat on the way in. But gotta put you in the shade, buddy. You're getting pretty hot. This is a former stock exchange, she said? That's cool. Ooh, and it's air conditioned. Making you smile. Is it good? It's really good. Here, but we came for some ice cream to cool down, and I got the lemon and basil combination, which is really good. I really like the basil twist on the lemon ice cream. It's refreshing. I stayed in this hotel the last time I was here. I didn't come to any of these places, so this is nice. It's good to pop in. Never had that before. Have you had that before? Oh, we found something new for Ashley. That's impressive. It's a good aioli. I'm always a sucker for pizza. And this is really light and fluffy. Light on the sauce. I mean, the toppings are like evenly distributed, but light. And in a way that normally I wouldn't appreciate so much, but because it's on a bread. Is this like a focaccia bread too? Like,
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, very similar. I mispronounced focaccia a lot on one of the boat cruises, so. I don't know why. It's because my brain is done and fried. This will unfry it, it's great. It's just chocolate praline. Hey. This is a poison shop for you. Be careful. Let's go. I would say overall it's been a pretty good trip. Cooper got his first heat wave under his belt, and we seem to have handled it pretty well, so that's nice. The food tour in the Panier was nice. It was just kind of more on the edge of the Panier, but she took us to some fun local spots that just had like their specialty, and it was good. Didn't buy any chocolate. Very tempted. If you do end up trying the chocolate. At this place, they didn't let us. At the secret place, they did, but they didn't. I don't know if I should. But you know, what's a good way to finish off a good food tour than with, you know, a boat ride? Let's go cool off. It's hot. One of the things I'm most excited for is Cooper's first time on a sailboat, and my first time on a sailboat too. I don't think I've ever actually been on one. And Elizabeth, who's been joining me on some adventures, has paid me back by arranging an adventure of her own. And looks like we're going to be heading out on a sailboat, hopefully with the temperature and how he's been doing and the ready access to water and shade. Should be fun. So just waiting for them here in the shade. I'm going to get out of the sun now.
Merci la Tana pour le bateau et toute l'expérience.
Merci Jay et bienvenue.
Merci. So what are my thoughts on sailing for the first time? I've never sailed before. I mean, I've been on the ocean. I've spent weeks on the ocean, but I've never been on an actual sailboat, I don't think. And I like it. I think I might do it again at some point. If you're going to be in town, you can do it through Get Your Guide or you can do it through the association. I'm going to link to these guys below. They just want to make the ocean more accessible to anyone who has a desire to sail. And I definitely would recommend it. Not a bad spot to watch the sunset in the Calanque. We're on the islands right now that are just off the coast of Marseille with Chateau d'If on the other side, and there's nothing else I can say. This is just amazing. Pretty sure I'm in frame that whole time. Thanks for joining us for a little bit of a trip to Marseille. This was kind of last minute and unforeseen, but really pleasant, getting to see some friends and wander around. I really do love this city, and I feel like there's so much to learn. Tons of history. Supposedly the oldest city in France. And, you know, I want to come back. I want to learn more. If you want to come to Marseille and do what I've done on this trip, almost all of those experiences are linked below. Thank you again to Get Your Guide for making it possible and for making the trip affordable. It definitely covered most of my costs on the way down. And if you're going to be traveling anywhere in France, or it seems like anywhere in the world, check out Get Your Guide. They've got really cool experiences, and everybody that we were hanging out with was local, very proud to be from here, very proud to share their spots and their view of the city and its history. And we only had one major contradiction in historical facts, and that's unfortunate. I was really hoping to compare more and be like, now I know who the bullshitter is. I still don't know who it is now. Maybe they're all linking up. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. Yeah, see you for more whatever. Trips, stuff, fun. It'll be great. Cheers. I love Marseille. Put up. Let's jump over all of this filthy mess.